Okay, guys, I'm gonna make this a relatively quick one as much as I can, but I just wanted to talk about what's going on with the Democrat Party right now. Now, a lot of people are saying that basically now that Trump has been convicted, that all they're gonna do is yell that he's a convicted felon for the next like 6 months until the election. And I want to tell you, you guys are thinking way too small. Now, what let's start with this. What is a conspiracy? A conspiracy, by definition, is when a bunch of people come together in secret in order to enact some kind of plan. Conspiracies happen all the time. As long as there's three people alive in the world, there will always be a conspiracy going on. Even if that conspiracy is something as silly as like just having like a surprise birthday party or something like that. Now, the term conspiracy theory came from the CIA. Specifically, I don't remember the actual source of it. It might have been a congressman or something, but it came from somebody who wanted to discredit the theories that the CIA killed JFK. Janice, stop that. And basically, Um, for that conspiracy, I've talked about before in a previous video on my other channel, which is my main channel that I use to view stuff and make the playlist that I watch later. But basically, for me, I don't think the CIA killed JFK, but I would love when Trump gets back in the office to actually release those documents and prove me wrong. For me personally, I believe that instead of the CIA being involved in his death, it was just sheer incompetence and that they should have caught the guy before it happened and they didn't want to make themselves out to be completely useless, because if they had been completely useless and unable to stop the assassination, that would mean that why would we need the CIA if it's that incapable? And therefore it would be defunded. That's my personal opinion, and would explain the conspiracy of why the CIA went around and had Congress pushing the magic bullets theory. Because if you don't know, the magic bullet theory is that the bullet hit JFK, went through his back, through his front, and then somehow curved to hit the back of the governor, then through the front of the governor, then off the governor's wrist. And the whole theory comes from the fact that the Warren Commission actually had the wrong schematics for the vehicle. The vehicle was actually designed in such a way that the back seat was lifted higher and it was wider than the schematics said, so that it would be more easy to fit important people in the back, and that the person in the back would be more elevated so more people in the crowd could see JFK. So when you um, compensate for the actual design of the car, the bullet went in a straight line, and someone actually replicated the shot almost perfectly. Because what the shot actually did, it was a full metal jacketed round, so it was not designed for personnel, it was more designed for anti-vehicle combat. The actual round went through JFK, through his front, through his back, through his front, through the back of the governor, through the front of the governor, hit the governor's wrist, and then hit the governor's thigh. The person who replicated the shot did all of that, except he hit an extra rib on the tumble of the bullet. because, the bullet starts tumbling when it hits a target. And therefore, it hit the governor, the ballistic dummy governor's wrist, and then just bounced off the thigh instead of penetrating the thigh. So he replicated the shot perfectly. So, yeah. Anyways, for the actual conspiracy that I think the Democrats are currently working up, is you gotta remember that this is not. Everyone's saying this is the last desperate gasp of a dying campaign. And a lot of people are saying that. And I think it's true to an extent. But like Glenn Beck, he was also one of the people that said that, by the way, was on the Flash cast. So I watch a whole bunch of different conservatives. Just throwing that out there. I don't just watch old conservatives like Glenn Beck. But I respect Glenn Beck. I know what Stick says about him, but I have respect for the guy. Anyways, Glenn Beck is basically saying that maybe this will be Biden's excuse to not debate Trump. Like, I won't debate a felon. I think it's much deeper than that. I think now that CNN doesn't have a crowd, that they can go to commercial at any time, that they can cut Trump's mic at any time, and that as biased as CNN is, it's basically going to be a 3-on-1 in there. It's going to be the two commentators and Joe Biden against Trump. And if they get RFK in there for whatever reason, they're going to make sure that they're going to ask questions that specifically have RFK attack Trump. So it would be a 4-on-1. Now, RFK is smarter than that, and he would turn it around and attack Biden, which is why they won't lift RFK onto the field of battle, as it were. But this may be the last desperate gasp of a dying campaign. But, they could throw him in jail, despite the fact that everyone would realize it's BS. But while this is the last gasp, this is the first step of a greater plan. This is not going to be the only thing they do. They're going to use this to galvanize their extremists who might get violent, like Antifa and BLM. They're going to use it to galvanize the extremists that are going to do as much cheating as possible. They're going to galvanize the people who harvest the ballots. This is going to be used to make their extremists as pumped up and amped up as possible. While the ordinary person is not going to be very enthused about Joe Biden and probably won't even show up, the people that may matter more are going to be the wackadoodles who will do everything in their power to cheat for Joe Biden. And they're trying to get illegals to vote in the election. Don't you think that they aren't? They're trying to make it legal to vote without an ID. So all they would have to do is they would have to go up to a whole bunch of illegals, say, here, your identity is now this person who either moved away or died, and we know that they're not going to vote, so you just pretend to be them, okay? I don't know. It could be anything. It could be something like that. It could be something completely different. I'm just throwing out ideas out there. But do not let your guard down, okay? This is not a situation in which you can just be like, well, this failed, I guess, but Trump won. Look, listen. Like I said, I'm not going to cope about Trump being convicted. This helps Trump both in money, popularity, solidifying the base, and amping up our people. And we're not the extremist side. They are. They're the ones who have broken every convention, who've broken every civility, who destroyed basically 250 years of presidents to do this. They're going to go hog wild, and they're not going to stop at this. They're going to do more. You know they're going to do more. And we can't just react. We can't just react to what the Democrats are doing. We gotta be proactive. We gotta be out there trying to figure out what their next big gambit is and cut them off at the pass. And just because we catch one or two or three or four doesn't mean they won't have another 20 out there. And some of these are going to come in so late at the last minute. Hell, I mean, maybe they seed the clouds and make it rain so Trump supporters don't go out and vote on election day. Now, obviously, I don't think cloud seeding is actually a thing, but we don't know what kind of insane crap they're going to do. Vote early, vote by mail, make sure that your local office gets the actual envelope. If you can go in on election day and confirm that they got the proper ballot with the proper votes on it and that it wasn't replaced, if you're like, hey, can I see my ballot? Can I make sure that everything is still tip-top on that? Ask questions. Go out of your way to make these people's lives miserable so that you can confirm. Keep them busy, man. Enact your own gambits legally, by the way. Do anything in your power legally. FOIA requests. Making sure that you're helping Judicial Watch. Any other organization that's out there suing to make these elections less fortified. Go out there and do it. Stop just sitting around and waiting for Democrats to do some bullshit. Act. I'm out here making videos, listening to everybody I can, trying to come up with ideas, and passing it on to you guys. Now, I know there's not a whole lot of you out there yet. At most, I get like 50 views a video. Okay? But that's why I'm trying to do daily videos, so that the algorithm doesn't let me go. It doesn't let me fall. And I'll be doing my own stuff out here to make sure that the election is free and fair as much as I can. As much as I can think of. And if you have any ideas, you comment down below what I can do in my local area to make the election more fair, more secure, so that the Democrats aren't pulling a bunch of bull crap. Alright? I'm listening to anything you guys have to say. And I need you guys to start making comments too, to help push this algorithm so I can get out to more people. I'm not going to be the most well-read or the most helpful person in the world. I'm just listening to other people, seeing what they're saying, and try to condense it in a form where, hey, all these ideas are coming together. Let's figure this out. Okay? I'm gonna have to be an idea guy coming up, and it's a problem for me. Because I'm not seditious enough or devious enough to kind of think of the kind of crap that these guys are gonna pull and what kind of cheating they're gonna do. So, yeah, that's all I had to say. This may be the last desperate gambit, but this is just the first step of that last desperate gambit. And until Trump walks into office on January 20th, I ain't stopping. I'm not going to stop for anything. Okay? I mean, hell, I've been donating to the Trump campaign, and I didn't actually keep track of how much I was donating, so I got to go make sure that I didn't donate more than the $1,300 max, but I gotta make sure that I'm keeping track of how much money I'm donating so they can't try to throw me in jail for donating too much money. So, anyways, that's all I gotta say, guys. 15 minutes is all for this one. I'll see you later. Bye.